This is the compressor experiment, which takes low pressure, room conditioned air and compresses it through the piston assembly to a high pressure, storing that air in this tank. This is a two-stage compressor, so you have low and high stage compression. That's why the diameters of these cylinders are different. Essentially, you get power to this motor, which is connected to the compressor via the belt drive. And then compressed air goes through the assembly and is stored in the tank. You can vary the motor speed here and the exhaust valve position in order to create different steady state operation modes. So the system consists of the motor, the compressor itself, the tank where high pressure air is stored, the exhaust muffler up top here, the orifice plate for measuring air flow rate through the system, and then the instrumentation and sensors which give you data. So as far as sensors, we have 6 pressure transducers. There are 2 pressure transducers at the outlets of left and right low stage compression. So this pressure transducer here is from the left low stage compression piston coming into the right high stage compression piston. And this pressure transducer here is coming from the right low pressure stage piston coming into the left high stage compression piston. There's another pressure transducer back here, which is after the 2 high pressure stage compressions combine, and so this is just before the high pressure air enters the tank. We have another pressure transducer here to measure the air pressure inside the tank. We have a differential pressure drop measurement across the orifice plate to measure airflow rate. And finally, we have a pressure transducer here to measure the pressure after the orifice plate before it exits the muffler. In addition to pressure transducers, we have thermocouples. Most of them are in the same locations as the pressure transducers. 2 after the low stage compression, here and here, and 1 again after the high stage compression, here before it enters the tank. Again, we have a thermocouple to measure the temperature of the air inside the tank. And finally, a thermocouple up near the muffler to measure the temperature of air at the outlet. We also have 1 power cell back here. It's enclosed because it's measuring 3-phase power. This measures the power input to the motor. And there's a magnetic pickup on the back here which measures the rotational velocity of the flywheel for the compressor. So now I'll talk about startup and shutdown procedures. To start up the compressor experiment, first, make sure that the breaker switch is flipped on. When that's on, you'll see some red numbers appear here on the control panel. And you can hit the green run button to start the experiment. And this gray dial will adjust the speed. So I'll demonstrate that now. And you can push the red stop button to stop the experiment. Here you have a visual pressure gauge just to show you that there is something happening inside the tank. You have the exhaust valve to adjust the flow restriction through the system. and that's about it. So when the experiment is running and you have it at a steady state set point where you want to take data, just come to the Excel spreadsheet. You'll click on the Do One Scan Now button. When you click on that, data will begin populating the cells underneath these columns here. You can click that button as many times as you need.